our brother Spot and what we're going to do, and yeah, actually what we're going to do and how we can help, you know, people create businesses online.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me here.
Mhm.
We were talking a little bit about, ways that, Black entrepreneurs can get started in business. We know that right now, economic times for a lot of people, it's really rough. And
Mhm.
starting a business right now, it's a tough thing to do, right?
Right.
There are some people that still have a corporate job and they are wondering, uh, you know, am I going to be in my job for a long time or they're going to let me go? They're looking into their plan B and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, so this conversation, I want to have with you is to kind of give them some powerful tips, some powerful ideas on how they can start a business in 2025. See, the hardest thing about starting a business is to start it the wrong way.
Mhm.
you know
Mhm.
and a lot of people, this is what they do. They have an idea, they're like, okay, I'm going to start my business, and they go and they set up an Instagram account, they go and they tell their friends that I'm gonna do this, I could be a millionaire, it's such a great idea, stuff like that. But there's a process, to do this so you can
Mhm.
get started on the right track you know
Yes.
um So I'm going to share 7 tips um, that I think will definitely get you on the right track. Okay.
Awesome.
Now,
And I
obviously,
appreciate you for coming on tonight. Go ahead.
no problem. If you do have any questions along the way, or if you want to add on, just feel free to jump on. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so the first thing to do when you have uh, an idea or a business and things like that, it would be to at least have a business plan or at least write your idea down where it makes sense, right?
Right.
So where you completely understand what is it that you're doing, right?
Right.
Um, Once you have that together, then what you're going to do is you're going to obviously, start your business. You're going to probably incorporate. You can open a corporation in your state, or you can open a corporation in another state that have favorable corporate rules or favorable tax situation. So that's where you're going to start. Now, once you start your business, um, you want people to get to know you. Okay, you don't want to go to your friends and family, right? You really don't. You don't want to talk to people on the bus, and be like, hey man, listen man, this is what I'm doing right now, man. This is going to be the biggest thing ever, right?
Right.
You don't want to talk to people about your business after church, you know, you know, because
Right.
people are gonna get real smart. They're gonna tell you, hey, listen, man, uh, it's a good idea what you're talking about, but then they're gonna tell you a bunch of negative reasons
Right. Right.
why you shouldn't get into business, right?
Hey, in the
Okay.
meetings, man, you guys have always told me not to do that. So I'm laughing, whoever's watching this, because I've done it. I go right to the businesses, talk to them, our friends, family, and what Willie is saying is so raw and so true. And I just had to test it to see. But yeah, go ahead, keep going,
Yeah.
Willie. It's
So
true.
so when you get started, you want people to find your business. People who are interested into what you're doing, you want them to find your business. So the best way to get found when you first get started is to add your business to directories, you know, or
Mhm.
to attend business network events. And the reason why that's an efficient way of doing it, because now the people are literally coming to you, right? So if you're in a business network environment, there are going to be some professionals that probably will understand what you're doing a lot better than your friends or your church members and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
So business network and directories. There's a bunch of directories there. There's one directory that a lot of people don't ever think about when they get started in business. It's called Google Business. Okay.
Mhm.
You add your business on Google. Depending on the type of business that you get in, you could be listed on the map. So people that are in your area that are looking for what you're doing, they will find you on the map. Okay. But even if they don't find you on the map, if people Google the product that you are selling or the service that you are offering,
Mhm.
um, then they will find you because your
Now,
Google
Willie,
profile.
why is Google more important than landing pages on Instagram, Facebook? Uh, you know what I'm saying? Why can you tell everyone why you got to spend money in order to make money? And
Well, you do have to spend money, make money, but there are some things that you don't even have to spend money for. This stuff that I'm talking about, going to business network events or listing your business on directories, it costs no money. And to sign up on Google Business is no money, but it allows people that are searching for what you are offering online, it allows them to easily find you, right? And
Mhm.
then when they find you now, you have people that are really interested into what you do to actually um, come to you directly, right? Okay,
Right.
so that's the first thing that you can do. Now, some of the directories out there besides Google Business, obviously you have Facebook page, you have you can have a Twitter business page, right? But
Mhm.
as a Black entrepreneur, you have some Black-owned business directories as well. There are some people out there that want to spend a dollar in the Black community. They want to, find the Black entrepreneurs in the area, and nothing better than to go online, look for business directories, and there goes your business right there. So you have places like Official Black Wall Street. Um, you have My Brother Spot. You can put your business. And the cool thing about these directories is that they are ranking, they are ranking for keywords that people are searching for. And a lot of them are free or very cheap to list your business on there, right?
Mhm.
You can also list on Afrobees World. um, and then once your business, the more directories that you list on, the more it's going to actually help you to be seen on the internet, you
Mhm.
know. But that's the first tip. If I was starting a business today, I would definitely go and find out what are all the directories that I can sign up on. Some directories are paid, so you have to do a little bit more research to see if it's worthwhile. And some
Mhm.
other directories are free, but sometimes because it's free, it doesn't necessarily mean it will help you. But you want to be out there. You want to be on Google Business. You want to go on mybrotherspot.com. You want to go on Afrobees, Official Black Wall Street, and there's a bunch of other one. There's Support Black Owned .com, where you can go and just add your business, and people will start seeing you in those things, in those places, right?
Mhm.
So that's my tip number one. Tip number two,
Mhm.
okay. Um, One thing that we don't know how to scale. Sometimes people have really nice ideas, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, but they
Mhm.
don't know how to take it from starting small and then growing it, right? They don't know how to do that because, as you were mentioning earlier about the money,
Mhm.
um, how much money do you really need to start a business? I mean, you can start a business with $10, or you can start a business with $100,000. What's the real difference? Well, the real difference is how much you have to get started, right? If you
Mhm.
don't have much and you want to get started, there are a lot of places where um, you can um, that you can basically in your community you have, for example, what they call pop-up stores, whatever. So if you're
Mhm.
selling something, a pop-up, what do they call that?
What do you mean,
Pop-up markets, right?
pop-up markets? Mhm.
Right. So you have like pop-up markets, that you can attend. You can go to a lot of different businesses in your community that would probably allow you to uh, be, just have a spot in their office or something like that, right? You can network with people and work with them and getting known in your local community, right? So wherever you can start, you just start there and then scale up. Because what a lot of people do, they throw money at one thing
Mhm.
and then it doesn't work and they're damn near bankrupt.
Yeah, that's true. But also, can you let our listeners understand how they could start on my brother's spot and sell products for $15 a month? 15 products, and they could get used to being online. You know what I'm saying? And then these robots and AI, when they take the jobs, they're already polished and understand how to sell things online and to make money passively, because that's where the world is turning. As a matter of fact, today, I just got an email and they were talking about Waymo or something like that, some self-driving cars, and they were
Hmm.
advertising for Uber. So what the Uber driver is gonna do? Come on, we gotta get online. We gotta, not be rigid. We have to be flexible and try new things, or everyone's gonna be on universal basic income. And you know what comes with that. In order to just get that, oh, you got to take this and you got to, come on, y'all. We trying to
Yeah,
help.
well, that's actually very interesting what you're saying because there's tons of tools online, right, that allow
Mhm,
you to scale, right? You
mhm,
have, as you was mentioning, my brother spot allows you to, start your store for $15. You don't have to code anything, you don't have to do anything, you just have to go and put your product. So you can
right.
use stuff like this to help you grow without breaking the bank, right? This in this case is $15, right? Now
Mhm,
there's something called Canva. A lot of people, use it to do designs and stuff like that, but it's basically a marketing design tool, and
mhm.
it's about $10 a month, right? So
Oh,
some people go on Fiverr and then they hire people that don't even know how to do the job. They spend hundreds of dollars, when they can just go on Canva. It's pretty easy to use, you know what I mean?
mhm,
So you have to learn how to scale your business. Don't spend all the money up front. If you don't have to spend the money, what I'm saying, keep the money in your pocket. You have
mhm,
other tools. You have, Google has a lot of free tools, right? For
mhm,
example, if you have a website, you have Google Search Console, you have Google Analytics that shows you basically what's going on in your business. And you have to definitely, um, uh, you know, believe in DIY. There's a lot of stuff you can do yourself. If you can do
mhm,
yourself,
mhm.
do it. Don't always decide, hey, I'm going to pay somebody to get it done, um, because
So
that's money
basically, we got to learn how to be uncomfortable, man. And it is
you,
uncomfortable, but just
you got
like
to learn to be
just like people
uncomfortable.
be trying to build muscle, you know what I'm saying? You got to get uncomfortable. You got to get in there and work out. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I don't know, that's the way this planet is. The harder you work, even the smarter you work, the more you get rewarded. I don't know why it's like that. It's just, this is the way, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, one thing that black-owned businesses or black entrepreneurs are, having a lot of issues with is to get funding. Okay.
Right.
Now, what we're used to asking for money, but
You
you
know
know,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Exactly.
we,
Getting
we
them
just want to.
loans. And then check this out. Then your monthly is so high, and then everyone, you got a bankrupt, and then you got to
And
take
that's the
six,
thing.
7 years, 8 years off your life.
The thing is, you got to work your way up there because, like during the pandemic, I remember I used to see some videos uh, about the cargo van business. People used to
Mm.
be like, "Yo, I'm making $10,000 a month. If you want to get into that money, you go and buy a cargo van, right?"
Yeah,
So they
right.
go and buy the cargo van. They got bad credit. They, 17, 18% on the car,
Yep,
on the van.
yep.
They don't even have one contract lined up, right?
Mhm,
So we have to understand how the money works before we go and ask for the money, right? Or
mhm,
the big thing in the black community is where people is like, you know what? I know this place you can get a grant. You don't have to pay back. You don't have to pay back. You can get a grant. You got, you know what I mean? But people don't
mhm,
understand the process. Now, some grants can help you, you know, move forward. You know what I'm saying? But at the very least, you know, you have to understand how money works. Okay.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
when you start your business, once you open your corporation and you've done these things, what you want to do is to, you know, open a business bank account. Once you open your business bank account, you know, you can get, you know, a credit card with it.
Mhm.
So the credit card is going to be, you know, in your business name. You know, they use your personal credit, but they set up your business, and then basically as you use this card, you start to build business credit. Okay. And then
Okay.
you can do this with the bank. Then you can go and get a credit union and get a card there, and then you can have two, three cards, and then now you're building your business credit, right?
Mhm.
Just like you
Mhm.
build your personal credit, now you're building your business credit. And why is that important? Because that's, you know, where that's how you get the money. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You get
Mhm.
the money because, you know, you've built, and you know what? He's just saying he loves Canva, and there's tons of tools like Canva, tons. You know, you just gotta find it, look for it. If you don't look for it, when you network, you can ask people, you know, what it is, or you can go on, you know, like
Come on, Shona.
some of the
Mhm.
black owned directories also have tools on there. Like my brother spot have, you know, they build websites for $50 a month, you know,
Mhm.
professional websites, you know. So you have to just go out there and find these tools that allow you to scale and grow. But back to the credit, you know, you can slowly build a credit. I see a lot of videos and people, they just want to know. They make videos about how you get 500,000 line of credit and stuff like that.
Right.
Listen, you know, if it was that easy, there wouldn't be no
Everyone
video
would
about
be
it.
making
Right.
it.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Just,
yeah.
just focus on your business. Focus on your business. You know, just, you know, like I said, you go to the bank. Sometimes the bank is going to tell you, we can't give you a credit card. It's got to be a secure credit card. That's fine. You can start small because the goal is not to have huge line of credit from the beginning. The goal is to slowly build your business so you can have a solid foundation, right? When you have two, three, four credit cards, you know, 2, 3 years down the road, then you're gonna have a lot better options to fund your business, right?
Mhm.
And then, as we are saying earlier about being smart about scaling up, you know, if you are good with your money, you use Canva, you go and you $15, you can have your products on my brother's spot. And then there's a lot of small tools like that that you can use to move forward. If you're smart about that, then 2, 3 years down the road, then your funding options have, you know, grown tremendously, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So I kind of skipped a step, right? One of the
Mhm. Go
tips
ahead.
is to build a website because I was just talking about, you know, my brother spot, you know, and there
Mhm.
are so many black entrepreneurs that miss this step. They go on Instagram and they think that Instagram is, you know, once they have an Instagram profile, that's it. They made it, right? Okay.
Right.
Instagram is a social media platform. People don't go on Instagram to buy from a business. They go there to be
Tell them.
entertained, right?
Right. Tell
They go
them.
there to be entertained. Okay. If they see your business, if they happen to see your business, okay, good for you. But you know, they may not be ready to buy from you right now. They might buy from you in 10 months and stuff like that. But when you have a website and somebody go on your website, okay, they are usually ready to buy. And the reason why is because people will find your website on search engines like Google, Bing, you know, Chat GPT now, you know,
There
you
we
just,
go.
and then Gemini, you talk to your phone, you say, hey, you know, I'm looking to, you know, uh, I'm looking for a nanny. I'm looking for a nanny in my neighborhood. And then comes your nanny website. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So when people come on your website, they pretty much, you know, they want to do business with you. They mean it, right? Okay.
Mhm.
So having a website is another huge tip because you want to start there. You want to, I'm going to recap again a little bit. Okay. So you want to have a website. You want to add your business on directories. Okay. You want to
Mhm.
be smart about scaling. Don't pay people everywhere just because you have maybe a little bit of money in your pocket or give them all the money in your pocket. Just learn how to do a lot of stuff yourself and there are some other options that are, not too expensive, and then you scale up, you know, like for
Mm,
example, Google Ads. Some people go and they spend, they start their Google Ads $1,000 a month, right?
right.
Well, listen, you shouldn't start like that. You should start at $100, and then slowly, as your business grow, you increase your ad spend. Unless you have money. If you have money to spend, a
That's
lot of
different.
Black entrepreneurs are starting with pretty much not much, right? Nothing,
Right.
right? Okay.
Mm,
Um, so tip number 5, you have to work on your story, and you have to work in a niche. Okay.
right. Right.
So your story and your niche, you really want to have that together, because people don't buy because you're selling them, like for example, bread, right? Okay.
Mm,
I love bread, right? So when I used to live in Atlanta,
right.
I used to buy bread at Publix.
Mm,
I never bought bread at Kroger, right?
mm, mm,
And the main reason why is because, I mean, I just felt like, like, I guess it's from the presentation or something. It's just, I just preferred buying bread at Publix just because how they present what they were selling, right?
right.
Okay.
Right.
Um, you have some people, for example, if you want to buy a house, you have some real estate agents. I mean, there's a bunch of real estate agents, right? But
Mm,
sometimes you go and you deal with one real estate agent specifically because of who they are,
right.
you know.
That's true. People invest in people who they like. And sometimes, the products aren't really even that good or the services, just people like them. And so keep going, Willie.
Yeah, and that's the first thing. So your story is very important,
Right.
and how it ties up to what you do. Okay. But also, don't do any and everything, because people always try to do that. They try to be everything, right?
Right.
Just focus on one or two niche, a particular thing that you're really good at doing, and
Hmm.
then you're going to become the person that's good at that stuff that people know. If people say, okay, like, if someone's going to do my brakes, who am I going for my brakes, right?
Hmm.
Okay. If a guy, that's why you have, garages that only do brakes, right?
Right.
I think Midas is one
That's
of
a
them, right?
specialized,
Right. Uh,
mechanic
Right.
brakes.
So if I want to do my brakes, that's where I go, right? So you actually make more money in those type of niche, because consumers or people who buy, they don't want to be overwhelmed by everything you do. They just want to know that you're the brake guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We
Like,
also, Willie, what I'm learning, um, you have to listen to the person who could be a potential consumer and see what they really need and see if we are a good fit for them, And so that's what a lot of people that, are selling things, that's our people have an issue with as well, man. We gotta listen more and see what they need.
well, that's the thing. The thing is, they may need something that they need it, but you don't sell it, right?
Right.
The thing is, people who come to you, once you have your website, you work on a niche, you work on your story.
Hmm.
These people are coming to you because they want specifically what you're selling. Okay.
Right.
So here's what
You're
the big
talking
mistake
about
of
on the
people.
search engines, right?
Right.
Right.
Right. So here's where people mess up. So somebody come and all they want is their brakes done. And then we start telling them about the engine, about the suspension, about all kinds of stuff. We trying to sell it all one time. You can't do that. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Just focus on what you do, because guess what? If you do something else
mm,
outside of brakes, for example, right?
mm.
So if you do it well, they may trust you for other services,
Right.
you know, but you have to be good at what you promote. Don't promote everything,
Right. But
you
my
know.
brother's spot, we're good for real estate agents. We're good for people who, just like real estate agents, tax people, anybody that need a website. Our tech, are web developers. You have Willie here, design awesome websites. And on top of that, Willie, we provide SEO, man. We provide SEO, search engine optimizer. That's what makes you more visible in front of people on search engines that you would never meet. You will be sleep and making passive income. Someone could buy in Germany, someone could buy in New York, someone could buy in LA. You know, that's what our tech team can provide for you. And, I don't think a lot of our people that are professionals on here that I'm friends with on Facebook, and on Instagram, you really don't know what you have in my brother spot because I have a online business, and that's the reason why I'm, brand ambassador. Like I'm pushing because my brother spot is the one who and Afrobiz tech team is the team that actually put my business on the forefront, and I'm getting passive income from it. I never met the people who purchase off my website. So I feel good about who I'm with. That's why I'm doing this. And I'm down with my brother spot because they made me when I never thought I'd be in this position. So if I could do it, I know a lot of people could do it. I'm talking about my people, not getting rich. I mean, when you like 1,500, 2,500, sometime 5,000, sometime you could break it open in a couple months, 8,400. You know what I'm saying? That is very possible. Not being a millionaire, we're not selling that, not being a thousandaire, always passive income. 40,000, and this takes like a year and a half. You get your ROI. That's not normal getting your ROI in a year and a half, right, Willie?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you
But
said a
but
lot.
it
You
was with
said a
me.
lot of things. Yeah. So you see a lot of things like right now, and you know what? All of these things are valid, okay,
Mm,
and that's all for on the website. So
mm,
specifically for websites, with my brother spot, we figured out that listen, we gotta walk some of these people through this
I
site
got you.
because the website situation is one of our downfall because
Mm.
people get their business started and they go on Wix, and they try to build a website on Wix, right?
Oh no,
Um,
I'm in
and
trouble.
and and I'm going to be really short about this, but basically, the goal when you start your business is to be seen, right? You want people to
Right.
see you, and if you don't have that expertise in getting out there,
Mm.
having the proper website that will actually allow people to find you, because people don't know. They just think that you go on Wix or you go on Shopify,
Boy,
and
this
then
don't
people gonna
sting.
find you and you're gonna make money. That's not how it works. It goes way deeper than that. But you know what?
Yeah.
We will have more sessions like this with
Right.
Jay, and we'll go a little bit more in detail into how that works. Okay.
Willie, I know you're
Um,
gonna help a lot of people because you didn't help me, man. I appreciate you, the whole tech squad. I thank y'all, man. Because I'm telling you, go ahead, Willie. I just had to spit that out.
No, not a problem. So yeah, so that is really important what you mentioned about SEO, because
Yeah.
that's the core, the core part of having a website is to have a properly optimized website so people can find you. You know,
What did you
my
tell me?
my
Like
my
every building in a city, those businesses spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month with SEO so they can always be seen. And then people just think that's the best website. Be like, I'm purchasing something on that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be you.
So the next tip I want to give you, this is tip number 6.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's recap again. So number 1, okay, you want to have a website. You
Hmm.
want to list your business on directories. Okay. You want to learn how to, start lean, and scale in a smart way. Okay. You want to open a business bank account and start building your business credit. Okay.
Hmm.
We're not talking about getting 500,000 in 6 months, that kind of stuff. Just building credit for the future. Because as you
Exactly.
scale your business, you will need to have access to credit. Okay. Because
Yeah.
cash flow is very important. Okay. You
Hmm.
want to know your story, Okay, you want to have a straight story. You don't want, to talk to different people and different story. You want to know specifically what your story is, and you want to focus on a couple of niches, like not be just focus on a couple of things that you're really good at doing. Okay.
Right.
Now, the next thing that you want to do, and this is where a lot of black owned business, a lot of black entrepreneurs also fail.
Mm.
You want to collaborate with other black entrepreneurs. And the reason why is because networking is really powerful. So I was part of a business network. Uh, um, there's something like this in I forgot what's the name of this one that's really popular. But basically, it's business networks, right? So you have a group of people, and in the group of people, you have one web designer, one real estate agent, one insurance agent, and basically, you pass each other clients, right? So
Right.
because I'm a web designer, so I might have people, my clients, they do web design, but I'm talking to my clients, right? And they're telling me, oh, you know what? I'm thinking about buying a house next year. I'm like, oh, you know what? I know a realtor. Call her. She'll tell you what to do, right? And when people complain, they'll say, oh, you know what? My insurance is so crazy. You know what? I know an insurance agent, and then the real estate agents and the insurance agent, they're doing the same thing because
Yeah.
they're probably selling business insurance, and they're like, hey, do you have a good website, or do you have, you know what I'm saying? So they're selling the
Exactly.
business to a web designer and so forth. So you want to collaborate with other black entrepreneurs. Um, in this way, right? You can, if you know a place where they sell a really good cupcake, just say, hey, go over there, tell them I sent you, right? Okay.
Mhm.
And then basically the cupcake person is like, hey, listen, if you ever come across somebody, that's looking for my service, don't be shy of doing this because it costs you $0. It doesn't
Right.
cost you anything to do that, but networking is one of the key things that you need to do when you get started in business. You need to network as much as you can, right?
Mhm.
That will definitely lead you down the a path to success. Okay. Um, and do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I'm trying to constantly network with real estate agents because these are the hardest times for real estate agents because no one is buying, and I'm trying to put them on and partner with them to get a website. I was trying to get a brother on here on Facebook. It was a Facebook friend. You know, he has some nice suits, man, and I was trying to show him like, yo, you need a website, and then we have SEO, blended in with it. We could get you out there and your apparel and get a website because he had that. Remember, I was telling you about that website that was kind of, I don't know, the links are. You were saying that it's kind of not a good website. That one guy, you have a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
people, yeah,
yeah.
but I think you remember him. But
Hmm.
as a matter of fact, then about 5 days late, because he basically was sincere and said, "Look, man, I can't afford $60 a month." But then I see him out, because he's my Facebook friend, and he's spending money on drinks, all that, and it was like Saturday and Sunday. So hey man, it wasn't but it was just so funny to see that. And then, I talked to him this morning and I was just like, he was like, hey, good video with Brother X. And then he was like, that's good. I was like, hey man, you have fun on the weekend. Saw you tossing them back, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you spend more than $60.
Well, you know what, that's a good point. It wasn't part of those 7 tips, but
Yeah,
definitely you have to invest in your business. Like,
you got it,
like
man. We gotta
people,
stop
man.
playing around, peoples.
Listen, you have companies that already have made it.
Mhm.
Versace, Gucci or whatever,
Right.
and they
Mhm.
still pay for advertising in magazines,
I know.
right?
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? They they
Yeah.
they still pay for why are they paying? You see what I'm saying? We need to understand that part, right? Because
Tell them.
uh the 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 investment that you put into your business, you're gonna get it back, and you're gonna get it back all the time, especially in 2025. Things are moving very quick. I mean, AI is about like 2 years and a half. old. Like, say,
Man.
I mean, 3 months ago, everybody on Android got Gemini, and Apple is working on releasing their version of what Gemini is in September, right? So things are moving pretty quick. I mean, last year, who would have thought that you could just ask your phone anything and they will just tell you what it is, right? You know,
My phone set
um,
up my U-Haul appointment. Gemini.
listen, like I had,
Crazy.
I was telling the story when I went to, I do, I walk in the morning and in the afternoon, and I was getting ready to go out to work. There's a trail near my house, and it looked like it was going to rain.
Mm.
So I asked my phone, well, it looks like it's going to rain, but is it going to rain? And the phone is like, well, it doesn't show it's going to rain,
Right.
but yeah, you can definitely go for your walk. So I go for my walk, and 15 minutes into my walk, I get a drop on my forehead. you know and I'm like, what? So I go on
Man,
my phone, and I'm like,
it's a
listen, I just
weird
got a
world.
drop on my forehead.
Yeah.
I thought you say it's not gonna rain, right? So the phone is like, oh, I apologize, actually things have changed, and it's
So,
30 to
so the
40
phone
percent
apologized. Gemini
Yes, yes.
apologized.
Yeah, it's like, actually it's 30-40% chance of raining, but you
Oh,
know
so
the
weird.
rain ain't gonna start until maybe an hour from now. So you good for your walk, right? So I continue walking, and 20 minutes later, man, it starts pouring,
So
right?
it's getting
Like,
smarter and
it
smarter.
starts
And
pouring. So then I go like,
wow.
listen, like, yo, you told me it's gonna start raining an hour, and then the thing is like, I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm going to be better next time. Like, it's my phone talking. I'm gonna be better next time. But you're right. It is raining right
Wait,
now, so you
wait.
should
This
make your
this
way
was
home.
Gemini.
This is Gemini. Yeah. So on top of that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this was very interesting, but what's really good for entrepreneurs is that people can say, hey, listen, I want to move my couch from my house to my grandma's house
Mm.
across the city. How can I do it? I don't have a car. And Gemini will go and say, hey, you can go and rent a U-Haul. You can contact these companies, and
That's
you
what
will
it did
name the
for me.
Right, it will name the company. So you want your company to be part of those. You want your business to be part of those companies that are being named and stuff like that, right?
Mm.
Um, so technology is moving. So in 2025, if you're not keeping up with what's going on, if you don't want to spend any money into your business, you're going to be a failure. Simple as that. Okay, and
And you're not
that's
saying that to be mean. It's just it's gonna happen, man.
and that's what it is. So now it take us to our seventh tip, which is, to keep learning. Keep learning. Stay a student of uh, you know, entrepreneurship, right? Don't just, maybe you have a couple of good months and then you stop doing what you used to do, right? Stay healthy, okay? I walk about 5 miles a day, and I don't walk 5 miles a day because I don't have anything to do. I'm actually pretty busy, but I
Right,
realize that, I have to stay healthy if I'm going to have a successful business, right?
right,
Have to stay healthy. Um, you have to read. If you don't have time to read, listen to audiobooks, right?
right,
Because listen, you will learn so much. I have a habit of, so I have both for Android and iPhone, right? Because of the business that I do. Um, and I have a habit of going on my iPhone, and I go to podcast, and I just pick a podcast randomly, right?
mm,
And I've had some podcasts talk about some off the wall stuff, aliens, and
mm,
and people disappearing, and you know. But the thing is, every single time I listen to different content, I
mm.
learn something,
Right,
right? And it makes you
right,
better. Now, in business, people say, hey, you can listen to motivational, speeches, or you can listen to business podcasts, whatever. But it doesn't have to be all just business all the time. just keep your mind open, because when you actually read or listen to a different kind of podcast, you will see the business or the marketplace from a different angle, right?
Right.
From a completely different angle, and that makes you better in business,
Right.
because sometimes if you are listening to just one guy, right, and the guy tells you his ideas and how to do things and stuff like that, that's
Mhm.
great. But if this guy is wrong, you're doing it wrong, because you're not going to have another perspective because you
And
only
they'll
listen
set
to
you
one
back.
person.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
want to listen to a variety of things, but the key is that you keep learning, you keep keeping your mind open to what's out there, what's going on out there and things like that.
Right.
Um, and that's why me, like with my technology and stuff like
Mhm.
that, I just, even though I'm in the business, I'm a web developer, I'm in the business, but I keep pushing myself. Anytime something new comes out, I'm the first one on it, right? So I started using AI in the process of, making content and stuff like that back
Mhm.
in 2022. So I got a head start on everybody. So I'm really, there's things that I can do with AI right now. It puts me well ahead of a lot of people,
And let
right?
me expunge on that, Willie. I remember you telling me this once, and you were telling me about a year ago. Hey, man, your website that we built and we got the SEO going, you're like 3 to 5 years ahead. The way
Oh
we
yeah.
built, and I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie, I didn't believe you. I know it now.
Yeah, and you know what? We're having these lives because we want to share this information with Black entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Um, because a lot of people just don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
you are starting to live that life, but I've been able to be financially independent because of simply what I know about websites and stuff like that. And I used to, when I got started, I was making my money building websites, but I don't even make money like that anymore. I just make money from different websites that I've built that are making money for me, right? And we
Wow.
want to share that information
I
because
want to be just like you. That's what I'm talking about.
because let me tell you, there's people right now that have really nice corporate jobs, really
Man.
nice, and guess what? They are worried about their
Mm,
future, you know.
mm, yeah.
And I was watching something that was saying that about 50% of the office jobs will not exist in 5 years,
Yeah, I know. And
because basically,
the people I love, I don't know how to really even tell them that because they're gonna look at me as negative and all that. I kind of like I didn't believe you at first, but then what's going on now and how many people like I love the way you give me like information. And I know you're busy. You'll be on Messenger and say, "Hey, this how many people got laid off at Google. Hey, this how many people got laid off at the big industry center and Walmart and all that." And I'm just like, God damn, this shit is adding up.
yeah,
And then who's gonna get laid off first? Us.
right. you know so yeah, so that's what we're doing. This is a first, and I'm hoping for many more hours of going in details into different things that we can do, sharing the information. Okay. Um but let's recap one last time. Okay, so number one,
Mhm.
get a website. Okay,
Yeah.
and we're going to have some lives where we're going to talk in details about the things, the ways that you can do that, okay, and what platforms you should be using, and we talk in detail about what my brother Spot is doing to facilitate that, right? Okay.
Right.
um I'm actually one of the developers on my brother Spot, and I'm also a developer of AfroBeesWorld.com, and some of these Black
Yes.
directories, we actually are working on this Black directory as volunteers, because we want to be able to to share this knowledge and give people access to what the internet can offer, right? Okay,
Right.
so have a website, number one. Number two, add your business to directories and network. Okay, um, that's number two. Okay, number three, you want to prioritize brand visibility early, right? So you want to uh, get on the, set up your social media and your business, Google business pages and that kind of stuff, right? So you want to have that set up properly, okay?
Hmm.
And a lot of us we complain that we start with a little bit of money, but what we really need to know is how to scale up. You can start small and scale up. There are some tools out there, there are some products, some services out there, that help you do that. Okay. And you have to also, take responsibility for certain things. We like to just hand out jobs. Like I was talking about Fiverr, that's a really not a great thing to do, because half of these people, they will take your money and you're not really going to get that much um, out of it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
um, then the next thing you want to, once you have opened your corporation, you want to open a business bank account and ask your bank to, give you a credit card. You can start with one or two credit cards, and then go from there. Because in the future, okay, because we want the money now, but you're not going to get the money now because you're just a new entrepreneur. So you're
That's
going
the
to get
way it
money
works.
in the future, right? So you're going to
Right.
build your business, you're going to build your cash flow and stuff like that. But in the future, you want to be funded. You want some funding, right? So, so you're going to slowly build it, okay? And then number five, you want to work on your story, and you want to be specific in the area that you want to work in. Don't be everything for to everybody. You just
Right.
be good at what you're doing and just stick to that. Don't think that you're going to make more money because you have, you're doing 50 different things, right? Okay.
Right.
I once met a guy in Atlanta, only in Atlanta. Okay. So I was at a, in a plaza, right? And this guy was there because he was washing a car. So on top, so he was driving, and I still have the picture. I'm gonna have to share that picture with you, man. But he was driving a Ford Expedition, the old one, right? And
Hmm.
he had like a tank. You know those people who wash cars, they have that tank. He had that on top of his car,
Oh,
right?
the tank things. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he was washing somebody's car, right? And then the dude was selling CDs, right?
Mhm.
And in the
Okay.
back of his car, he had a barbecue grill, like he was selling, fried chicken or barbecue chicken. You know what I'm saying?
Hey
You
man,
know,
we could hustle.
and the dude was part of another company. I don't know if it was Amway or something, but this dude is basically promoting everything. You see what I'm saying? He can do your insurance, he can fix your car, he can wash it, he can sell you chicken. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be like that. Just focus on one thing, right? Okay. And one of the last thing, number six, collaborate with other Black entrepreneurs. Collaborate, network, send each other business. That's
Mhm.
one thing that if we just did that, we would do so much better, right?
Right.
Um,
Real
and
talk.
last but not least, be continue learning. Keep learning. Don't stop learning.
Right.
Keep your mind open. Read, listen to podcasts. And if you do these things, these
Be
tips
open.
are.
Basically, you saying be open, man.
That's
Like
right.
a lot of us are
Yeah.
rigid. I used to be too. I used to just want to, watch certain things. That's that's only helping the people who own those corporations. The Tyler Perry movies. Money goes in his pocket, but mostly it goes into, like who was just fighting.
I'm not a fan of Tyler Perry movies,
Yeah,
but
I know, but a lot of our people are, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, we have to understand who we're feeding. And
yeah,
we're not feeding each other. We're feeding everybody else. That's why they spend so much money to, basically work on our subconscious. And that's why we default in a certain way, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
then we do things. We're not trying to, really shit on our people. It's just we like, oh no, that may be something that I don't want to get into, this, that. And then The other ethnicities are scamming like a mug on you. I mean, I could name some right now. That's one of the biggest scams. That's bottled water. All they doing is just replenishing tap water. They even lying about the spring now. It Dr. Sebi used to be actually spring water. Now they're doing it from the tap and whatever they do, something, and then it makes it soft and they put certain ingredients in it. And then when we're drinking the bottled water, we're drinking plastic anyway. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's getting over. So we don't even understand how huge the scams are that these other people are doing, but we're giving into it. We're really giving into it. And then we'll have little scams that will fall for it. People look like us. But then it's a lot of us, we're not trying to scam. It's just we're trying to tell you the reals, and it doesn't go fast. It takes a while. All these famous people that's like, hey, we can make you into this, that, and then it's set up like church kind of. They pay those people to tell you something that's halfway true. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, and I'm doing well with this, but they not. You know what I'm saying? Facebook, Instagram, um, um, YouTube, they pay you like well under a penny a view. I mean, this
Right.
is highway robbery stuff. And we're like, Willie, I appreciate you coming and being on the show because you're giving real game. It may be boring as fuck, but this is real game. This is how real business people get down. And it's not a fast game, it's a long game. But when you make it, it's hard to knock you off for a minute. So especially if you have a real good product and you honest. You know what I'm saying? And I just can't say enough for what you guys have taught me, Willie. I appreciate you guys at Afrobiz. I appreciate me playing a part in merging Afrobiz with my brother Spot into, presented it to our people to where our people could really eat off this in the future. If they just, we got to be seen more. Eventually, we'll be seen more in keywords. We're already on Google, ChatGPT, and all that, and once more of our people see it, that's ready to do it. This is definitely going to help a lot of our people and serve our communities. We have programs we want to start down the line, so I'm just real excited. I was excited about the Ben X interview. I really appreciate Ben X. Thank you, Dominique, for hooking me up with Ben X and booking me. I appreciate it. Willie, Ben, let's talk about. I'm gonna talk about Brother Ben X, just a real hot set. He has a school for kind of like our people that's been passed up, but he's gonna do trades for them, and it's free. It's free. Who does that? And then on top of it, Brother X, I thought I was going into an interview where he was going to say, like a few others, hey, man, that'd be 1,500. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, my brother Spot, don't give me that to even, I'm thinking it's free. Man, this brother sat down with me, talked to me, interviewed me, was so professional. And he's only 31 years old. And trip off this, man. I'm 52. That brother is way more mature than me. I'm amazed what Farrakhan, and the FOI just produces, man. Not everything is perfect, but man, the FOI,
Yeah.
they be doing it in our communities, man. Because just think how hard that is. Most of their people in there are convicts and other people that just wasn't doing as well in life. And Brother Ben X was a little different. He was a basketball player, but the first time he seen his father was in a casket, and you could go on the YouTube channel and check out the interview. Man, he was born in prison. His mama had him in prison.
Yeah.
Man, amazing, bro. I was Willie. I was extremely impressed by this young man. So yeah, back to what you was talking about the what you have to do to form your business first is so vital and so important. And go ahead, you can smudge on that. I went off, you know me.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
no,
for
but it's
me,
all
man.
good, man.
I'm,
It's all
I'm,
good. You know what? Final thought. Um, we basically are trying to basically be excellence in action. A lot
right.
of people are saying black excellence, but the successful people in the community. I mean, I know some of them do their part, but it's a lot of them that basically don't, right?
Yeah.
So we want to show people, the lives that we are able to live. We want to show them how we did it, exactly how we did it.
Right.
What's the way? Um, we want to share that with people. Um, so in the end, you can go on mybrotherspot.com. You can list your business there. And once you list your business there, you'll be able to we'll be in touch with you. We'll let you know everything else that needs to that that you can do to improve your business or improve what you're trying to do. And we'll give you
Right.
all the secrets because you know the secrets makes our community better. You know,
Right.
uh, there's a lot
Yeah.
of other communities that are thriving online. Um, and then that's because they share the information among themselves, right? You know, so
They do.
that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
Thank you, Jay, again for inviting me here. I'm looking forward
Thank you.
to other times, and
Mhm.
uh, and then we'll go in the future. We'll go in detail into some of these subjects. But I hope these 7 powerful tips that can help you win in business in 2025. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yep. All right, Willie. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. You're a good brother, and thank you for spending the time with me that you have spent with me, because I know you're a busy brother. All right, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. This is Jay Havlin. This is Willie for representing my brother spot in Afrobiz. And we're out.
All right.